All right. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. How are you doing? It's another beautiful Saturday. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the replay. Hello. Okay, we get a lot of people watching the replay. Let's see who is in the classroom. Let's see. Okay, happy Saturday to Two for One. We can always count on Two for One. Thank you, Two for One. It's good to see you. And I see Mobile Music is in the room. Happy Saturday to you, Mobile Music. Thank you for joining us. And I know there'll be a few more people coming in slowly. So, anything exciting? Let's start with can you hear me? Okay, because we're going to try to rule out the audio first things first. So, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully, you can hear me. My allergies have been bothering me a little bit. So, if you hear me sounding a little stuffy, yes, it's that time of the season. So I think you can hear me because I see happy Saturday, but I'm going to wait until I get a thumbs up. Okay, Mobile Music said it sounds good. Okay, good. Let's see if the sound effects work. You know
You're
how that goes.
absolutely correct.
Oh, wow, that's working. Okay, I'm not going to press the button again. That might, I don't know, but that's good. That's working for us. And let me see, I'm getting an error saying from YouTube. Hold on just a moment. Not receiving enough video. Okay, so I got some kind of error from YouTube. I'm not sure. But so far you can hear the sound effect. Can you hear? Can you hear the keyboard? Let's see. I can hear in my headset. You can hear me. I can hear you. Okay, good, good, good. Thank you. Um, Two for One for letting me know. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to be working on today. Today, we're going to be talking about whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes, okay? And the first thing we're going to start with is the whole note. How long the whole note lasts, what does it look like, how do you draw it, everything we can talk about the whole note. Then we're going to talk about the half note. Same thing, identifying the half note. What does it look like? How to draw those half notes and how long we hold a half note. And then we're going to talk about the quarter note. How to draw it. Can you identify it? You know, these are all different symbols in music and what it represents. So we're going to be talking about the whole note, half note, and quarter note. And then, of course, we're going to test your knowledge, make sure you're paying attention, do an activity like I like to call a music game. And of course, we always have a weekly assignment for you. Okay. Miss Robin on our curriculum department, I call her the curriculum department. She always makes sure that you have a worksheet to help you learn these concepts. So thank you, Miss Robin. I know you're watching. Okay. So that's our lesson for today. The other thing I always like to welcome because there are always new people joining us. I am Miss Christine, and this is Live in the Music Room, something that we're doing weekly on Saturdays, 10:45-ish, because there's always tech issues. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, you're always welcome to watch the replay. But we welcome you here to the Live in the Music Room where we're going to be doing all sorts of things. We're still very, very new. So that leads me to please like and subscribe. Allow us to build this channel, build this community, build this safe learning platform so that everyone can feel welcome. And that's what we want to try to do. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Even if you subscribed and gave a like last week, it's helpful to do it every week because, you know, those robots are always looking. So thank you in advance. Okay, so if we're ready to get started, let me just make sure I'm all set. Last time I checked, I was okay, but you never know. Okay, let's see. Okay, everything is working so far, so good. So here is our lesson. We're going to get right into it. Give me one moment. And so here we have our first unit. And like I said, we're going to just talk about the whole, half, and quarter. There are other notes, and we will talk about them. But for today's lesson, it's just the whole note, half note, and the quarter note. Okay. All right. So let's start with the first sort of music term. Okay. Because you may hear people use the word duration or note value. All these sounds a little complicated terms. They're not complicated because we're going to simplify them for you. So the first thing we're going to look at is duration, and that's talking about how long a sound lasts. Okay, so some sounds in music are short, some are long, and some are in between. They have a different length, okay, depending on what they look like. But when you hear duration, I want you to think how long or short a sound is, okay? And it's all they have different lengths, and I want you to think duration. So if I use the word duration, you should now understand what that means, okay? Any questions, obviously, you can put them into the chat, but I think that is fully understood. So we're going to move along. The next thing we're going to talk about is note value. Now, note value tells us, excuse me, how we show duration in music. Okay, so for example, music uses symbols. Here you have the whole note, which I'll go into a little bit more in just a second. The half note and the quarter note. These are all these symbols. And that's going to tell us exactly how long to hold the note. These symbols that I can circle right here are called the note values, okay? So the duration is going to tell us how long, and the symbols are going to let us know the note value. And we'll talk about the note value in the next slides. So for this week, we're talking about the whole note, the half note, and the quarter note. And I'm going to show you the different durations because each note or symbol will represent a different duration. Some are going to be long, some are going to be a shorter note, and then some are going to be very quick. And you're going to see what I mean, okay? Trying to keep this very beginner friendly. And if something seems confusing, please put it in the chat. I'm happy to explain further. Okay. All right. So let's start with the whole note. Okay. So it looks just like what you see here. This is a printed whole note, but if I was to draw a whole note, it looks like a hollow oval or circle. Sometimes the children like to say it looks like a little bit of an egg. Now you can see my drawn whole note looks a little kind of interesting here, but needless to say, this is our whole note, and it is a long sound. And I have in parentheses, there's our duration. Okay, it's a long sound, and I'm going to tell you how long we hold that sound. It is a note head here. This is just the note head. So here we have the whole note, and we call this the note head. It has no line, which we'll talk about the stem. A line meaning just a vertical line. There is no stem. There's no stem with the whole note. It's just the note head that that is not going to be attached. So I'm going to erase that so that you understand there is no stem, no line. And I have usually held for 4 beats because as we get further in our theory, you will notice that in some context of music, this whole note has different lengths. But for our lessons, it is going to be held for 4 counts. And I don't want people to leave live in the music room thinking that for every symbol that I see in music that looks like that's a whole note, it's going to equal 4 beats, because that is not completely accurate. You will learn when we talk about time signature like 2/2 and 6/8 that the duration, right, which we said how long or short, will change because we're learning new concepts. So this is why you see I have usually, okay? It usually will be held for 4 beats, so that you understand that that is not a forever, okay, or a permanent statement there, okay? Give me a thumbs up so far if I am making myself make sense. And is it, do I need to further clarify about the whole note, about duration and note value? So the note value for the whole note will be 4 beats. Now let's have a little more fun and put it in context. Let's go to the pizza store, the pizzeria, right? So I just had some pizza this week. I had just a cheese pizza. It was delicious and it made me think of the music. So let's have a pretend Saturday pizza party. And if you want, you could put some pizza emojis in the chat. All right, I got a thumbs up. Thank you, Mobile Music. Thank you. So I think everything is kind of clicking. Okay, good, good, good. I see your thumbs up there. Thank you for the thumbs up. All right, so we're going to the pizzeria, right? And now we're going to continue to put our music hat on. So here we have our whole note, and we said that it usually lasts for 4 beats. So we're going to just go ahead and say this is our 4 beats, and we have our whole pizza. And notice that the pizza is broken up into parts. But for right now, for our whole note, we have to eat this entire whole pizza. Okay, it's going to equal these 4 beats. Ta, right? And I kind of have it highlighted to give you a representation of the whole pizza, the whole note, okay? So think of the whole pizza just like the whole pizza fills the box, if that makes some sense, okay? All right, and so you need to eat the entire pieces of pizza, that one whole pie, okay, because that's the other thing. It's a pizza pie, and it's equivalent to a whole note, 4 beats. Now let's go even further with our pizza concept and our theory concept because it makes sense. Here is our whole note, and we know it lasts for 4 beats. So let's put on our singing voice, right, because we all have one, and we're going to sing it right here. We're going to sing it on ta, and we're going to hold it for 4 beats, okay? 4 beats, 4 counts. It's the same thing. So we're going to go ta. All right, let's try that with me. 1, 2, ready, and ta. That's our whole note. Okay, so we held it for 4 beats, or you could say, oh my goodness, we ate the whole pizza pie. Hope you're not that greedy, okay? Keep your cholesterol down. All right, does that make sense? 2 for 1 is giving me thumbs up, so I think that is making some clarity here. We have a whole pizza, and I should have asked what kind of pizza toppings do you like, but we'll save that for later. Okay, we're going to move along, okay? I think things are starting to click. When you see this whole note, you know 4 beats. We hold it. So it's not going to be ta, 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 ta. Okay, it's going to be ta. You got to hold that for that 4 beats. 4 beats, okay? So you're holding it, sustained. That's the word that I can use. Okay, so now let's go to another symbol. And this symbol, oh, it's getting you hungry. Okay, well, maybe we'll have some pizza. It is Saturday, and Saturday is a perfect day for pizza, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going to talk about the half note, right? And the half note is a shorter sound. And I have in parentheses that special new term, duration. And you can see right here, I like to circle my little notes, our half note. Now, a half note is a hollow circle, similar like the whole note, right? Remember the whole note, that hollow circle or oval? Okay, but this has a stem. Look at the stem, okay? Don't judge my drawing. It has a stem, okay? And here is my little stem here. I got a little line here. Adding the stem changes how long the sound lasts. Okay, let me say that again. Adding the stem, which is right here, changes how long the sound lasts. Okay, so we started with that whole note, which was 4 beats. Now we added the stem. It's going to change the what? The duration of the sound, how long you're going to hold the half note. So all of our math enthusiasts, if a whole note is 4 beats and it's just a whole, just a note head, then when we add the stem, you probably already see the math that is going to be held for 2 beats. Okay, here's our 2 beats. All right, and so what I'm going to do, because I know that you enjoy notating with me, let's get a piece of paper and a pencil. Hopefully you can find something handy. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And you don't even have to worry about the staff. You know, if you want to draw the 5 lines, 4 spaces, that's fine. But it could just be a blank piece of paper. I'm going to work right here in this blank area here. And I'm going to practice just drawing 4 whole notes. Just practicing, right? So I want you to do that with me. Okay, here's 4 whole notes. Now, and let's put whole notes. Okay. Now, let's go over here and put half notes. Whoops. Okay, now when we draw our half notes, we start with a note head, and then we have to what? Draw a stem. Okay, and we'll talk about the direction of those stems too. And so that is what happens. We start with our whole note. We know it's equal to 4 beats. And then when we add that staff, it's now equal to 2 beats. Now let's go back to our slides, okay? Isn't that nice? I mean, it kind of, everything just falls into place. Now for our hungry students that are looking for some pizza, we're going back to that pizzeria because you told me that you're hungry, right? Who said that they were hungry? 2 for 1 said that they were getting hungry, okay? And so we're going to go back to our pizza parlor, our pizzeria, and now look at this. Here we have our half note. Remember, we started with our whole pizza, but now we're going to only eat half of that pizza to give us the half note. Okay? Does that make some sense so that you can kind of see it in everyday life? You know, if you eat pizza, okay, maybe you don't eat pizza, but you can change it to gallons, okay, a gallon of milk, and then a quart and a pint, okay, because this is really math in a sense, but we're dealing with these musical symbols. So if I gave you a whole pizza and I took my little marker, let's go here, and I drew a whole note, that would equal to the whole pizza. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want to eat that much pizza. I just want to eat, well, I really shouldn't eat half, but I'm just going to eat half of it. Okay, so somebody is confused. So let's make sure we get some clarity here. So what are you confused about mobile music? Let's see if I can help you. Okay, what are you confused about? Help me to help you. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, and so while mobile music is getting their question together, let's go back. If you have the whole pizza, which I'll say takes the whole box, the pizza box, that's 4 beats. But if we cut it in half, then we are going to get 2 half notes. But in this case, I'm only showing you half of the pizza, so it's 1 half note. Okay, let me see what you have here. So I said you you drew 4 whole notes and said it was 4 beats. 4 beats for each whole note. Oh, that's an excellent question. Okay. Yes, because I was practicing drawing my whole notes here. Let's go here. So first we were practicing. Okay, so let's do this so it's some clarity here. Number 1, you're going to practice drawing. Okay, your notes. Okay, so in this case, we started with the whole note, right? So this is a whole note. This gets 1 beat. When this is one whole note. This gets 4 beats. This second whole note gets another 4 beats. Let's see, make sure it's clarity here. Okay, so first whole note, 4 beats. Second whole note, 4 beats. Third whole note, 4 beats. Fourth whole note. I was just practicing drawing them. This gets another 4 beats. Okay, so of course, if I was to add all of these up, right, then how many beats would I get? Oh, that's a good question. Can you put that in the answer? Can you put that in the chat? I have 4 whole notes. Each whole note is 4 beats. How many beats is in total? Okay. And you have to add them. What would be the answer? Oh boy, I didn't even expect to ask that question, but look at that. Okay, first things first, did I clarify your question, mobile music? Okay, okay. So I think so because you're coming in with the right answer. It would be 16. Okay, 16 because you're adding 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 gives you 16 beats. Excellent. Okay, so when I started off, I was just wanting you to practice drawing the notes. Okay, and so if I have one whole note, that's 4 beats. If I have a second whole note, that's another 4 beats. If I have a third whole note, that's another 4 beats. And then if I have a fourth whole note, that's another four beats. Okay, and if I put a line there and then go to my half notes, I only have one half note here. So it's only 2 beats. If I drew another half note, let's see, down here, here's my note head with my stem, and then I add, this is 2 beats again. When I add it all up, I will get 4 beats, and that's a whole note. Look at the math. Did you see that? Or can you see that? Okay, so we just started off with drawing the notes. And so that's how I got 16 beats because you were adding. Each whole note gets 4 beats. 4 beats, 4 counts. It's the same thing. Here. 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our whole note. Now let's do our half note. Can you see this? Okay, so we'll do, okay, yes. Okay, so let's go to our keyboard here. So here's middle C. Let's show here. This might actually be better. Here's, now on my representation, you see a whole note, right? Because by default, the software only shows a whole note. So I can't show you the half note yet. But let's just sing ta for 4 beats on middle C. If you have a keyboard or a piano, you can play along as well. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, sing. Ta. All right, and then we can count. 1, 2, ready, count. Ta. All right, that's our 4 beats. That's that whole pizza that we're just eating. Okay, the whole pie. The whole pie. Hopefully, you're not that greedy that you'll eat the whole pie. But no judgment if you do. Okay, so I think that gives us a lot of clarity. So we were talking about the half note, and we have half of the pizza. Okay, so we're going to move along. Thank you, Mobile Music, because it could be confusing if you see four whole notes drawn, and then I don't go into further explanation. So thank you. I was just practicing drawing whole notes, okay? And they're simple, just an hollow oval shape or circle, okay? All right, and here is our half note, which now is just, in written format. Here's a half note, and we have the sound that lasts for 2 beats. So let's go to the keyboard. We can go back to our middle C, okay? And we'll just do it for how many beats? 2, okay? So let's get 2 fingers, and we're going to sing it for 2 beats. So it's shorter than a whole note. Ta, ta, just 2 beats, okay? Now, I should go to the whiteboard again and tell you, let's go back to the whiteboard. Because what happens if we have 2 half notes? Then what happens? How do we sing that? So let's erase the whiteboard. Almost there. Okay. All right, I got to really give my whiteboard a cleaning. So we know that a half note gets 2 beats, right? But now what happens if I have, and you can draw with me, you can draw your notes. Here's my note head, here's my stem. Now I'm going to draw another whole note, half note, and here's my note head with my stem. We know that one half note gets 2 beats. This is an E. And another half note gets another 2 beats. So now how would this sound, right? Because music is meant to be heard. So now if we know that this is ta, but now we have to bring in the second half note, would we sing it like this? Ta, ta. How would we do that? Well, let's do it. Let's work on that, because some people tend to just hold it all the way like a whole note. And even though it is equivalent to a whole note for beats, it is not heard that way. It is heard 2 distinct sounds, 2 beats here, 2 beats here. So let's go to our ta. We have ta, ta. That's how we would hear the 2 half notes. Let me do it again, okay? Here's the first half note, ta. Here's the second half note, ta. I'm going to do it again without talking. Listen. 1, 2, listen, and ta, ta. Okay? That's what 2 half notes sound like. Now, if we just remove the second half note, then you would already know. If you were here with me and able to sing or play your instrument, you would just play ta for your half note. Beautifully done, okay? So that's our half note. Let's move along. Here we go to what? Our quarter note. Now this is a quick sound. Here's duration again, giving you the understanding of how long or short we're playing these notes. And I'm giving you the note value, which are these symbols, and how long we play them. Excuse me. So now here is a quarter note, and a quarter note is filled in with a black circle. So we started off with the whole note, which was the note head. We added the stem and made it half, 2 beats, a half note. Now we're going to fill in the note head. That's where we have the black circle, okay? I'll do that kind of quickly. And now we get our quarter note, okay? It doesn't look as pretty as this quarter note, but that is now our quarter note. It has a stem attached. And usually, because I already explained why, it's not always going to equal 1 beat. But in this case, a quarter note is going to be held for 1 beat. And I have an S here, but held for 1 beat. Okay? All right, so now let's go to the whiteboard really quickly. We already have our half note, so we can change this to a quarter note. And by filling in the note head. Look at this. Now my marker is purple because that's what I was working with, but obviously it would be black. Okay, so here's our note head. We're going to fill it in and add our stem. Okay, here's our note head. We're going to fill it in, add our stem. Then I'm going to add another one, note head, fill it in, add our stem. Okay, this is 1 beat, this is 1 beat, this is 1 beat, and this is 1 beat. And so how many quarter notes do I have on my whiteboard? How many beats, total beats? Put your answer in the chat. Okay, I'll give you, you know how I like to give you my 30 seconds. Here we go. 30 seconds. How many beats? Quarter notes. Each quarter note gets 1 beat. So how many in total? Give you a few minutes. This is our whole note. Okay, if you said 4, that is correct. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 will give you 4 beats. But now, how does it sound? How does it sound? Let's go to the keyboard. Okay, so here we have beat 1, beat 1. Here's 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat. The first quarter note, second quarter note, third quarter note, fourth quarter note. And it's only 1 beat of sound. So it's going to sound like this. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, try to sing that with me. 1, 2, ready, and ta, 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 ta. All right, good job. Let me give you a little clap, clap, clap. Nothing is working, but I'm giving you a clap. Okay, let me take the timer off. Okay. All right, so that was excellent, excellent work. Okay, any questions so far for our whole note, half note, and quarter note? Okay, half note, well, whole note, half note, and quarter note. Let me put quarter note here. And you draw your note head, fill it in with the stem, and you have 1 beat. Just 1 beat. Okay. All right, good, good, good. So I don't think any questions, so we're going to continue. We're almost finished. Okay, you're doing really, really well here, by the way. Okay, so let's go back to the pizzeria store. Okay, let's go back to the pizzeria. So we have a quarter note. All right, so we know that we started with the whole note, the whole pie. Then I just ate the half pie. And now when we have 1 quarter, it's just going to be 1 slice. Okay, it's just going to be 1 slice. Now, if I wanted to, and I'll go over this in a review, if I wanted to have all 4 pieces, then technically I would have to, let's see if I can, this would be a, whoops, is it writing? This would be a quarter note. I don't think it's working for me, but this would be a quarter note. Okay, I think it's because of the program. But anyway, it's going to be one slice. So if it was 4 quarter notes, then we would have the whole pie, but you would need 4 quarter notes. We only have 1 quarter note, one beat, so it's a quarter of the pie, okay? A quarter of the pie, or one slice. Let's do it like that. One slice of the whole pie to give us one beat, okay? All right. Hopefully I didn't confuse you there. Okay, so there is our whole note, half note, and quarter note. Let's go over a little bit more. Here's our quarter note, and we have a sound that lasts for one beat, right? So we have ta, and we have a little heartbeat, okay? Ta, because we talk a lot about steady beat, and the quarter note keeps that steady beat. So if we had 4 quarter notes like we did with our whiteboard, we know that we had ta, 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 ta. Okay, nice and steady. We'll talk more about steady beat in another lesson, but I think you're getting this. So we're going to quickly review here, just talking about the parts of the note. We had the note head. In this case, we're looking at the quarter note, which is filled in with the stem. It's just this vertical line. We don't call it a line. It's called the stem, okay? And there are other parts that we'll learn at a later date, because there are obviously more symbols, more musical symbols. And the more we add to the note, of course, the duration would change. What does duration mean? That is another question for you. Okay, what does duration mean? Put it in the chat. Duration. We just talked about that. So see how these terms come into play. What does duration mean? Some notes are short, some notes are long. All the notes, all the symbols meaning the notes, are going to have a length, and that length is the duration. When we see a quarter note, we know that this quarter note is going to have one beat of sound. That will be the note value, that we have to hold this for one beat. Don't want to put the S because it's just singular, one beat. Okay? The length of a note. Good. That is correct, Mobile Music. Okay, so look at here. I got my chef hat here. And so as a quick review, you will notice that the notes do not look the same, right? We talked about that. Here's our whole note. Here's our whole pizza. And I got some nice toppings too. A whole pizza is going to get 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, or ta, off. Ta. Okay. And now when we move to the next box and we look at the half note, it does not look like the whole note. Why? Because it now has a stem. The stem. And it is half of the pizza. Half of the pizza. It gets 2 beats. 2 beats, right? Ta. That's it. Okay. And then look at the quarter note. We have one slice. One beat. One slice of pizza, it gets 1 beat. Ta. Okay. So job well done. Duration, how long a note is held for. Okay. So that's what we're talking about. Okay, we're going to move along and test your knowledge. So it's some rhythm time. Rhythm, okay? We're going to have some fun and put this all together. And pretty much now you see in our red box, we're not going to really talk about bar lines. I forgot to take that out. But since I have that here, and I'm giving you like an advance, like sneak of some upcoming lessons, I'll let you know that these vertical lines are dividing the music up and they're bar lines. But for right now, we're going to just practice holding the whole note, practice holding the half note and then another half note. And then we have these 4 quarter notes. And then we have a whole note here. Okay. And we're going to sing it on ta. Let me hear everybody say ta. Okay. I think I can hear you in my virtual mind. It's just not always easy when you can't hear the people. Okay, so are you ready? Let me put in the chat, are you ready? Okay, this is a quick review. Okay. All right, I think everyone is ready. So we're going to keep it very easy. Okay. So I'll sing it here on A because, you know, I'm a little stuffy today. And it just feels like it's just nice. And my chest register, my chest voice here. And I can just sing it nice and easy. You can hum it. But we really want to sing it on ta so you can feel the duration of the notes here. And this is the case, we're starting with the whole note. Okay. So I'll give you a nice easy count in, okay? And underneath are the counts. So that's why you see 4, because the whole note is held for 4 beats. And the half note, you see 1-2, that's held for 2 beats. And then the second half note is picking up the remaining 2 beats. That's why you see 3-4. And then, of course, quarter notes get 1 beat. So this is beat 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 quarter notes. And so that's why you have 4 beats here. And then again, our whole note, which is held for 4 beats. Okay, here we go. So we were here on the A. Let's do it together. 1, 2, ready, and ta. Now the next measure. Ta, ta. Now the next measure. I'm saying measure, but I didn't talk about measure. So let me just make sure you understand the words that I'm using, right? Because I don't want to confuse you. So even though I have a lesson or going to have a lesson on measures and bar lines, oops, sorry. Let's see if I can get this together. So if I did this little rectangular box, I'm calling a measure, okay? And then if I add another one, that's another measure, okay? So I don't want to use terms that I didn't talk about. I kind of do it subconsciously, okay? So we're going to start here with box 1. Just think of it like a box. Box 2, box 3, and box 4 until we talk about measures. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go through all 4 boxes in the red box. All right. 1, 2, sing with me. Ta, 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 ta. Wow. Did you do it right? Hopefully. All right. Let's do the blue box. Okay. Let's come up here. Ta. Okay, so now we're at the blue box. All right, and so we're going to just imagine a box. We'll talk about measures in another lesson. Okay, so I'm just going to call it a box. This is one box. Here's another box. Here's another box. Okay, and here's another box. I'm deliberately not drawing the boxes so that you start to visualize this music here. Okay, so we're looking at the blue box and we're reading the notes, singing it on ta. Are you ready? So here's our note, ta. Okay, 1, 2, sing with me. Ta, 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 ta. Whoa, sounds a little interesting, huh? Good, good, good. How did you do? I'm getting excited for you. Okay, so let's sing on this one. Now we're at the green box. I think you have the idea here. So here's our ta. Can you sing that? Good. Okay. Of course, I'm stuffy, not at my optimum, but this is Saturday and we're just having some fun. Okay, 1, 2, sing with me. Ta, 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 ta. Let me do that a little bit slower. I kind of went a little fast. 1, 2, sing with me. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, all right. Hopefully I came through, no glitches, because you know everything is streaming. Okay, so good work with your note reading. Okay, and we'll have some homework for you. Okay, now there's one more thing that I'm going to discuss with you. Okay, and that is STEM direction. Okay, STEM direction. So when you get your homework this week, you're going to be drawing whole notes, which you know has no stem, but a half note and a quarter note has stems. And you're going to have to figure out what direction does it go? Does it go up? Does it go down? You know, which way do we go? Okay. And we're going to talk about that right now. So I have stem direction. Okay. If the computer works today. And it says here in green, stems up. So notes below the middle line. Look at the middle line. You should know in the lesson 1, when we draw our musical staff, we have 5 lines and 4 spaces, and we're talking about the third line. The middle line has stems that go upward to the right. Okay, so if it is below the third line, okay, notice that all of these notes in this red box are below the third line. The stems are going up to the right. Okay, do you see that? Any questions so far? I can highlight them. They're up to the right, up to the right, up to the right, and so on. Okay, all right, now let's continue. Okay, I think everybody's still following me. Okay, now let's look at the stems going down. Notes below the middle line, that's the third line, have stems that go downward to the left. Okay, so we're still dealing with this third line that I'm highlighting, but now the stems are going down to the left, 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 down to the left. Okay, all right, and then what happens if notes on the middle line, okay, because you know you're going to have notes on that third line, they have stems that can go upward or downward. You can choose. Okay, so here's our excuse me, here's our red box, and you can put it up to the right or you can put it down to the left. You have the option. If you're notating, if you're composing, writing some music, or if you're reading music, you may notice, oh, well, why did they have the stem up to the right? If it's on the third line, it can go either direction. Okay, so that is stem direction. And let's just test your knowledge. Okay, here's another little sort of note reading and stem direction worksheet that we have as well. And so let's look at this together. I'm going to highlight the directions. It says, draw stems on the note in the correct position. So we'll do this note, and this note together, okay? And so get your pen. We're going to use black. And so, of course, these are all going to be quarter notes, and you should know a quarter note is held for one beat of sound. We didn't talk about silences in music yet. Okay, so now this, is it on is it on the third line? Is it below the third line or above the third line? That is my question to you. So let's erase. Let's just start with the first question or the first note head here. Is this note head on the third line? Is it below the third line or above the third line? That is my question to you. Put your answer in the chat, please. Okay. Put your answer in the chat. Give you a few seconds. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm waiting. I know you're getting your answers in. Okay. All right. So if you said it's below the third line, that is correct. So it will go up, oops, to the right. Okay. I can't seem to draw a straight line with my mouse. Okay. Now let's look at the next note. Is it, what was the question? Sorry. Okay. Well, we're on to the next one. That's okay. So now this question is, this note head, is it on the third line, below the third line, or above the third line? Okay. So I'm looking at this note here, that note head that I'm circling. I'm going to erase it. But your job is to tell me, is it below the third line, on the third line, or above the third line? Because we're trying to figure out what direction does our stem go. We're talking about stem directions. Okay. And if you're having a hard time seeing it, because that might be, it is, there's no clef. So you got to kind of pretend that there's no treble clef, right? And this is on, it's here. This is the note head. What direction should the note go? This note here. Okay. So the answer is, it is above the third line. And what direction does the note head go? If it's above the third line, what direction does the note go? You should remember, if it's above the third line, then the note goes down to the left. Okay. So here we go. We're going to put our stem down to the left, and we can go to our whiteboard. Here's the note head. It's going to go down to the left. Do you see that? So now not only are you knowing about how long or short to sing or play or count the notes, but now you're also learning about stem direction. Look at all of this knowledge. Okay. And we'll do the last one because we said we would do the first 3 notes. Okay. So let's get our little highlighter. We're looking at this note here. Is it on the third line, below the third line, or above the third line? Okay, that is the question. And if you're having a hard time seeing it, it's on this line. And you have to tell me, what direction should I put the note head? Don't worry about the clef. We're not dealing with pitch, the letter name of the notes. We're just dealing with stem direction, one step at a time. Okay. All right. Quick. Class is almost dismissed. So what is your answer? Okay. I got my shoulder music. Come on, I'm moving my shoulders. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Do it. Let's do it. Okay. Come on, shake it out. We've been working our brains. Okay. All right. So I see mobile music coming in, and 2 for 1, of course. Mobile music has the line, in this case, the stem, because I know we're virtual, goes up. Right, but which direction, mobile music, right? We got to know what direction. Is it left? Is it right? Is it sideways to this? Which way do I go? It's almost like driving in directions. Somebody's trying to tell you how to go to the gas station, with gas prices being as high as they are. But they're telling you how to get to the gas station, and you don't know if you go right or left. I don't know what to do. Oh my goodness, where am I going to go? Okay, so now 2 for 1 is coming in and saying it's below the third line and the stem goes up to the right. That is correct. Thank you, 2 for 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our virtual pen, which is black, and we're going to go up to the right. Okay, so I'll probably put this in our school store as an assignment too. Okay, this can be like a bonus. And if we go to our whiteboard, right, and here we get our little purple pen. I'm using purple because that's what I grabbed, but we could easily turn the marker into black. Okay, so it would go up to the right. Okay, so yes, you kind of have to know your right from your left. That is important. Okay, job well done. We have about 4 minutes left remaining in class today. Any questions? Something doesn't make sense? You need some clarification? Please let me know. This is a little opportunity for me to kind of go into a better explanation about whole note, half note, quarter note. Okay, whole note, half note, and quarter note. All right, I'll give you a few moments to ask your questions. And we did some reading of notes, okay? Singing on ta. Okay, let's see if you have any questions. I know I have questions. I always do. I have some questions. Okay, let's see. All right. Fill in the missing or the blank boxes. Fill in the blank boxes here at the top. Now I have a red box here, and I want you to tell me, this is like our music math, okay? How many beats does a whole note get? How many beats does a half note get? How many beats does a quarter note get in our lesson, okay? How many beats? Okay, come on, come on, come on. I think you can answer that. That's something that if you were paying attention, you should know. Okay, come on. Got my shoulder dance coming. Come on, come on. And if you're watching the replay, which I know you are, put your answer in the comment section. Okay? I got my shoulders dancing to the beat. Dancing to the beat. Okay. Okay. I see mobile music coming in. Okay. All right. Good, mobile music. Let's see your answer. So mobile music said 4, 2, 1. Okay. That is correct. Okay. 4, which is our whole note. 2, which is our half note, and 1, which is our quarter note. All right, here we go. Let's see if you can answer question number 1, 2. Let's just do 1 and 2. Okay, so this is music math. Come on, let me get my shoulders. Okay, here we go. Question 1 and 2. Let me see, what is your answer? You got to do some adding. Who would have thought that we would be doing adding in music? Yes, we are. And you can do it too. Okay, I'm going forward and back with my shoulders. I must be feeling really, really good. Okay, what is your answer? What is your answer? Okay, so let's see. Got a lot of people watching and they're not commenting. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll put up my like and subscribe. Okay, so I see some answers coming in. I see some answers coming in. So let's see. So question number 1 has a half note. The half note gets how many beats? 2. So you should know. I'm going to put a little 2 there, and then we have plus. And then a quarter note gets 1. And so hopefully, you know, 2 plus 1 is 3, okay? We didn't talk about the symbol that represents 3 beats, but there is a symbol, a music note, okay? But for right now, for our lesson, we're just going to say 3, in this case, 3 beats. And question number 2, we know a whole note gets 4 beats, so I'll put a little 4 there, plus the quarter note gets 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, and now let's do question number 3 and 4. I'll put my circle there, And I'll put my shoulder music on. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it will work again. Oh, it's working again. All right, come on, question 3 and 4. Okay, that's our school bell right there. So we're gonna say our goodbyes. Come on. I'm moving side to side for you. Oh yeah, uh-oh, I got a little clap to it. Okay, might have to start dancing, I don't know. May have to be a little dance and music class, you never know. Okay, what is your answer? What is your answer? Okay, I see some answers coming in. Mobile music and 2 for 1. Such strong and devoted, committed students you are. Thank you. So you got a quarter note here and another quarter note. 1 plus 1 is 2. And in this case, I could also draw my note head and my stem to write a half note, right? Because we know a half note gets 2 beats. So you have some options here. You can just put the 2 beats or the half note, the symbol, the note. You can draw the note. Okay, this is supposed to be an equal. Let's try to make that a little bit cleaner. Okay, and what's question 4? What is your answer? Okay, hopefully you said 4, and I could also draw a whole note. Okay, and if you don't know how I figured that out, here's my half note, which is 2 beats, plus a second half note, which is another 2 beats to give me the whole note. Okay, job well done. Job well done. Okay, I'm really, really proud of you. Okay, let me give you a thumbs up. Keep up the good work. Okay, so that's our class for today. I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. Okay, come on and help the channel out. This week, your homework is dealing with whole, half, and quarter. So be sure to, let me put up the resources, scan the QR code. I'm also going to add the STEM direction worksheet. So if you don't see the assignment up right away, give me a moment to just, upload it and it'll be there for you. Okay. So all the resources are there at the school store. We thank you for joining us today. If there are no other questions, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Be kind to yourself. Remember to keep music in your heart. And we'll talk about some more music concepts next Saturday. And I'll be posting some new things on our channel. So until then, I'm going to say bye for now and thank you. And I'll see you in the next lesson.